I mean, it was recreational, but also it started like really abnormally because my mother was the first person to ever drink or do drugs with me. My 12th birthday present was her getting me high. I didn't think like I was ever gonna have a problem, because who thinks that? And my dad wasn't involved because he was an alcoholic. He ended up dying of an overdose when I was 19. That was just like weekend stuff. Like I never thought anything of it. I still did well in school. You know, like I wasn't raised with any self-love or like motivation. My parents didn't have the tools to teach me how to love myself, and like they didn't really have the tools to love me either because they didn't love themselves. Like everything I said I wasn't gonna do, I ended up doing because everybody I was hanging out with had the same mind frame. So it seemed normal. People were going to Florida and getting pills from Florida because there was like a bunch of pain clinics down there. I started trying opiates like Percocet. It made mundane things like seem not so bad. Really what I was looking for was an escape from myself, because I didn't know how to love myself and I didn't know how to get away from myself, and the only way I knew was to have that barrier of like, you know, like me, drugs, and life. It was like a really lonely, dark place. I like forget sometimes what that feels like, you know, because like I'm so far away from it. But it took a long time. So 2010 was my first detox. I didn't get really sober until 2015 because I never changed what was on the inside. I was too afraid to like tell people the truth. I felt unlovable, and I just felt like, what's the point? You know, like I can't do this thing. I really just want to die, but I'm too afraid to kill myself. I ended up getting arrested, and I had a detox in a women's prison. I was so sick, I was throwing up nonstop. Talk about weight cut. I was like 105 pounds, and then there was like all these people, like one of the girls like killed her father. She was like awaiting trial for murdering her father. And I was just like, what have I done? Like, how did I end up here? Like, this isn't who I am. I knew the message. You can hear things so many times, but unless you take action with anything in life, nothing's gonna change, and it takes massive action to create. I'm human and I'm flawed, and like that was one thing I had to accept, is like I'm never gonna be perfect, because it was scary when I saw all those truths about myself, and like it was also relieving because then I could be like, okay, like these are like my issues that like I can fix, you know, what can I change about my part, and like who do I have to make amends to, and like how do I not repeat this behavior again, responsible for my part in it, and like that's the common denominator, and that's the part that I have to live with. Like it would be 3 years in July. The 4th of July is like the first day I had like completely sober in 2015. The amount of stuff that's changed and happened in just 3 years, which really isn't a long time, is insane. And like I just know like it will keep getting better as long as I continue to put in action. In the beginning, when I got sober, like I asked other people for help. You know, I asked other people who had experience with this stuff, like what to do.
Pass, hook, kick, and a little more, get your hips up higher. Again. Planted leg, twisting too far. Up! Don't show it, hands up, you're not tired. Knee. Hey, again, hands up. Don't protect your stomach by dropping your hands, because I'm gonna hit you in the head instead, yeah? Hey.
So now like when I'm training, I ask people who are more experienced than me what to do. If I was to listen to what my head told me, like I wouldn't have fought at all, period. Especially recently. You shouldn't be doing this. You know, like you're gonna embarrass yourself. You have people coming out to see you and they're gonna see how bad you really are. You know, it's just like my brain tells me all these crazy lies. If I listen to it like I did before, then like I wouldn't participate in my own life like I didn't. You know, and like when I did drugs it shut that off. But I know now like the only way to shut that off is to walk through that fear and to not listen to it. I think what really like calmed me this last time was when you looked at me and you said like, listen, we're in your corner. Like we were in your corner yesterday, we're in your corner today. We're gonna be in your corner next week, next year, and the next 10 years. And it was like, oh yeah, like the outcome doesn't matter. It's the experience and the journey that matters. And I'm doing it. I know what you feel like. You know, like this is how I felt. If you felt like this, like we have something in common, and like it's possible for us to recover. And these are the steps that I took. And if this doesn't work for you, here's my friend Corinne, and she did the same, you know, she did it this way. Or here's my friend Liz. You might get along with her because you have like these things in common. Like, there's so many people in there that you're bound to find your person somewhere. It took me 5 years of like trying to get sober, not from when I started doing drugs, but trying to get sober until I finally got sober. You know, like you can feel safe here. I'm not going to judge you, and I get what you're feeling.
All three judges scored this bout identically, 30 to 27. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Cassandra.